Mamelodi Sundowns and CR Belouizdad tomorrow at Loftus Versfeld. And we are joined, thankfully, Coach Rulani Mokwena. You look in good spirits this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We are joined by Coach Rulani Mokwena. Coach, we'll start with you. I'll just hit the tone. You safely qualified for the knockout stages. You got a long unbeaten run.
Yeah.
But I somehow suspect there won't be any complacency from Sundowns tomorrow. Just your thoughts on this game being what's a dead rubber, but there's no such thing for Sundowns.
Yeah, no. First, good morning to everybody. I presume it's still morning. Good morning to everybody. My sincere apologies, man, for us beginning the press conference late, but fortunately we are here. And good. Belouizdad, very interesting opponent. No dead rubbers for Mamelodi Sundowns. We don't operate in that space. We're extremely serious people, and we try to set the tone as the technical team. We've gone into the last 5 matches. They've won 2, with a very, very big win for them against TP Mazembe, and they've lost 1 and drawn 2, and they've had some very good results. But let's see how it goes. Very, very good team, well coached, with very interesting schemes, particularly with the fullbacks investing a lot during build-up. But let's see what happens. And from a psychological perspective, we also want to make sure that we get into the knockouts on a good winning momentum, and that's very important. You want to be in the Champions League knockout phases on the back of victories, so that you have the conviction, the belief that you can win in Africa, and that's important because once you get to the knockouts, there's no second chances.
Good morning, Coach and colleagues.
Good morning, Masati.
Coach, you have articulated the fact that this game remains important, even though you guys have already qualified. Now, the question I want to ask is that is there any possibility, given the fact that you've already qualified, that you may be tempted to give a chance to Gege, given that he has not had much game time recently?
Well, we'll see how it goes today at training. We still have in the next 30 minutes, an hour or so. But yeah, we will see how it goes. Still starting places, positions in the starting lineup, based on merit, to everybody. We believe in meritocracy, and our level best to give opportunities to everybody that is doing well, and somehow just the others in our team are training well, and they've got the right sort of attitude. And you've seen that when the opportunity, George Maluleka, Mashompo Kekana, these are that show respect not just to themselves and their families, but to the club, a responsibility that everybody has when they are in the starting lineup. So we'll see how it goes on the training pitch. Previous match, Ricardo God was exceptional, got an opportunity, and even made it to the captain of the week, which is kudos to him and moments. But apart from that, we've got so many other players that are in the queue and waiting for the opportunity, and we'll see how it goes at training and what state we are in, because it just goes beyond the technical text. We've also got to await the COVID results, and the COVID results also play a part in action. So we will wait and see how it goes.
Can you just sort of give us the journey of Villa this season? I mean, he's been out for quite some time, came back and scored just the other day, and you could see how everyone else was happy for him and the way they went to celebrate. Just maybe the difficulty in coming back and finally coming back into the team, and just as management, how much of a role can he play still this season?
Yeah, there's no disputing Villa's ability from a technical perspective. His profile as a football player with all the achievements, football of the season, huge pedigree with regards to championships and titles, extensive experience on the African continent with Mamelodi Sundowns, and his pedigree speaks for the one thing that a lot of people don't get to see in the background is just how good a human is. And that's very important because part to just being a good football player, you need to be a good human being. And when you are, good things happen for you. And just as much as a lot of setbacks in his career, but his bounce back ability is phenomenal. His ability to remain steadfast in his belief, self-confidence, and believing in his own talents always puts him above the rest. But again, apart from that, is the relentless drive to better his own performances and also being happy and supportive of everybody else. Villa has got a trait that maybe you don't find a lot in modern day society, not just in football, but in society where he's extremely selfless, and that is why you saw the equation after he scored, because even when others are succeeding or doing well, Villa is one of the people in our dressing room that is always there to support, to congratulate, and to encourage. And that's the person I should speak about. And we are very happy to have him back. Villa's return for us is like a new signing that we've received mid-season, because he's got fresher legs, but the fresher legs come with quality and experience, particularly as we go to the end of the season. So he becomes extremely important, and like many others, we are very fortunate to have not just good football players, but good human beings, and Villa epitomizes that.
Based on the squad and the resources that Mamelodi Sundowns has, do you think you are expected to win the Champions League? And if you don't win the Champions League, would it be considered a failure? Thank you.
Well, there's two ways to answer that. It's extremely difficult to win the league, and I think our past participation in the Champions League and competition with elite clubs, and when you get into that elite space, you know that in relation to the quality of all the teams, you know that the margin for error is very minimal. And when you have a minimal margin for error, it makes things difficult, because even in terms of the quality of the squad, particularly once you get into the last, there's very little that differentiates in all the teams, and the preparation, the attention to team, the work ethic is these are the values and the qualities that you see yourself through, and try to get marginal gains, because that's all it's about, minute, small details in this competition. Having said that, it is possible to win it. We have, fortunately, we have that responsibility to go for each and every single match, regardless of what competition it is. We've got that responsibility to go into each and every match to look to win it, and the Champions League is no different. But having said that, as I say, heavy is the head that carries the crown. We always put the pressure and pressure is a privilege. There are teams that play without pressure, but when you play with it, means you are satisfied with mediocrity or substandard results and performances, and we don't operate. We are people that, because of, as you say, the responsibility that comes with this enormous brand, African continent, we have a crown that puts a lot of pressure. That pressure is only for the chosen few. Many are called, yet few are chosen. And when you are chosen, you've got to take up the responsibility with a lot of diligence and responsibility, and know that you've got so many people that, particularly to the Champions League, we've always been the flagship of South African football. We've got to continue in that vein to make sure that we realign the prestige that Africa has for South Africa in the football fraternity, and that again is added pressure. So we know, we are aware, but we will continue to carry the crown and do our best not to drop it.
That heavy crown also has the jewel of 28 games without defeat. Does that matter to you guys at all? Is it something, that you are carrying with pride, knowing that you could go the entire season unbeaten, being dubbed invincibles? And then just secondly, Coach Pitso said all teams will feel ugly in the quarterfinals. Do you think the same could be said about Mamelodi Sundowns? And would you say you guys would like to avoid Al-Ahly?
Yeah, good morning, Chad. I was about to text you to ask you to send me a photo, because I haven't seen you in a long time. I've forgotten what you look like. But yeah. No, I think Coach Pitso is right. Who wants to play the defending champions except Mamelodi Sundowns? We welcome because that's the competition. And once you get to the last 8, you get to the last 4. I mean, you get to play anybody, and you've got to play all the best teams in that space. And I think if Coach Pitso is honest, I don't think he wants to play them. I don't think so.
Really? We're gonna get the last question from you, please.
Just the unbeaten run, sorry, Jermaine.
Oh, the unbeaten run. Ooh. Look, how many games? Yeah, that just says it all, because we're not in the business for unbeaten runs. We are not in the business. We are not in the business for I call it semantics, but the reality is it's good. It gives confidence. It breeds a lot of belief. As coaches, we are salesmen. We are agents that try to sell, try to convince the players into believing in the methodology they want to imprint into the team. And the results give confidence and give belief to the players in relation to how we'd like to see the team play. And very well and good that we are unbeaten, but at the end of the day, we've seen teams go through unbeaten runs and not win trophies. And I have personally had Pirates when we went through a very good unbeaten run, I think 15 or something games like that, or something like that. But we still didn't win the championship. So at the end of the day, what's important is we are in the business to win games so that we win trophies, games and set unbeaten records. Unbeaten records don't result in championships. Sundowns is championships.
Coach, I wanted to ask a similar question to Chad, and especially looking at Zamalek and Al-Ahly, how they responded in their last matches, and I'm asking if, could this be an indication of what's to come in the quarterfinals? Zamalek back with Patros Cateron, and maybe Al Ali starting to come back as well. And the second question would be, how special would it be for South African football, because we've never had two quarterfinalists before in the CAF Champions League. She's also have a chance to do that this weekend. How special would that be for our football?
Zamalek, look, once you get to the knockouts, it becomes even a more unpredictable sport, and I can't speak on their behalf. Of course, I follow. I watched Al Arsh, and it was interesting to see them respond, and the personality that they infused into the game once they went 2-0 down, and showed a lot of character to come back and even equal in 94th minute or so. Under a lot of pressure, because if it had remained 2-1, they would go into the final game with an enormous amount of pressure to overturn a sinking ship. But they did it, and kudos to them. Zamalek, Patrice has come in and he's done reasonably well. Also, they secured a very important win. For us, we focus on ourselves. We focus on trying to be the best Mamelodi Sundowns we can possibly. We focus on the process. The process means trying to improve the performances on a day. It's working hard to try to ensure that we don't just win games based on stats. We don't just look to outperform in relation to chances created, final third entries, and possession. We want to dominate the pitch. Of course, we want to dominate the pitch, the rest of the pitch that we always look to going into a single match, where there are certain areas of the pitch where we want to be dominant and again put games onto the pitch, but also we want to also dominate the game and the ball, and it's not the same, and it's not always that easy in the Champions League, but that's our approach to every game, and that's our preparations from a tactical perspective. So yeah, we try to focus on ourselves and trust that we can. How good would it be for South African football? It would be a huge blessing, and sometimes this is how they used to appreciate the light. You've got to go through the darkness, and the reality is the mood on the African continent in relation to South African football is very somber. We are not in the most confident of spaces as South African football lovers, because of the recent results and the unfortunate circumstances that we find ourselves in as a nation through Bafana, and the light can easily come by having, for the first time, two big teams in the quarterfinals, and let's hope Kaizer Chiefs can get a good result against Royal and join us in the land of the living.